Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Drop, and this is my first impressions look on the Wave Wade 8083 Ultra V2 Low. So Wave Wade loves to make different versions of their shoes. I guess now we have 4 versions of the 8083. They did that with like the 8082 and like a lot of the other shoes as well. Even with like the All City line, you know what I mean? Well, I mean, not as much anymore, but they had like some crazy ones with the BOA lacing system. Some of them actually had like a shroud. Some of them had like a crazy straps, you know what I mean? But yeah, this is the V2 Low, the Ultra V2 Low, right? And it retails for 160 bucks. So all of the 8083 Ultras that you can get right now are 160 bucks. Besides, there are a couple of other colorways of the regular 8083 Ultra that is on sale for like 130, 140 bucks. So if you guys do want to cop any of those shoes, I'll try to leave an affiliate link in the description box. If you do choose to get this shoe, it does help me out if you do buy it from the links because they are affiliate links. So as always, thank you guys so much for all of the support. But as you guys all know, the 808 line, right, especially the 8082 and also the 8083 have been one of my favorite shoes every single time it's come out, right? Because it reminds me a lot of Kobe's. And in my personal opinion, it's a little bit of an upgrade from Kobe's, or I guess the Kobe's that had a drop in midsole, because lunar line in the Kobe's wasn't that nice, you know what I mean? Like especially the Kobe 8. The Kobe 8 lunar line was terrible. The Kobe 9 lunar line was not good. I mean, it's really nice when you get it at first. It's like soft. Stepping comfort is actually pretty nice, but it bottoms out very quickly. And then, you know, if you do hard impact, it hurts your feet, you know what I mean? And also another thing that I don't really like about it, especially the Kobe 9, is that it's pretty stiff in the heel as well. I mean, same with the 808s, but yeah, so it reminds me a lot of Kobe's, right? Great traction and all that, which I, of course, love. And a lot of you guys love it as well. And I really love how a lot of companies are starting to get on the drop-in midsole kind of craze, you know what I mean? In my personal opinion, drop-in midsoles are superior, or I guess like kind of like the better version of like a regular kind of cushioning setup, besides, you know, like a soft mesh struggle board, and we'll get into all of that. So yeah, this is their new version of the 8083 Ultra kind of line, and this is the Easter eggs colorway, which is pretty dang sick. I love the colors that they put into this shoe, like the gradient here on this plastic piece, right, with this like very flat yellow color to this flat blue to this flat purple, and also they put it kind of on like this part right here. It's not really the tongue, but this material right here with this knit, you know, with the holes that kind of goes around into like the ankle collar area. I really like this kind of color scheme as well. And there's also a morning sun colorway too, and it looks pretty dang sick. So again, links will be in the description box, but let's get it started right off with the tracciones. And yes, of course, this is going to have amazing traction. In this colorway, I have this solid gray rubber outsole. And all of the solid rubber outsole colorways that I've had, and I have a good amount of 8083s and also the 8083 Ultras, but the solid rubber outsole is really, really nice. It has top tier traction and you don't have to break it in at all. Right out the box, it has amazing stops, and it even gets better and better once you start to break it in a little bit, right? So yeah, on a clean court, you're gonna have amazing top tier stops, and has also a very, very loud high pitched squeak in all the colorways that I have, right? The 8083 Ultra, the 8083 Ultra V2, and also the V2 Low. Now, I just tried it on my wood floors. It has a very, very nice stop and also a very, very loud high pitched squeak. The one thing though is that it does pick up a little bit of dust, you know, and I'm guessing because the grooves are a little bit closer together where I guess right here is, you know what I mean, where the this is kind of like a highway area, like where you put a lot of pressure when you're like playing basketball and stuff. So I feel like it does pick up a little bit of dust. I mean, it's not terrible or anything, and it's a very, very easy wipe, so it's not even that bad on a dusty court, but it does pick up a little bit of dust. So yeah, just like all the 8083 Ultras, this has amazing traction, it feels like. And also this is tough rubber, so you should be fine on an outdoor court. The rubber is pretty hard, where kind of like the wavy herringbone traction pattern is, like the wavy lines. But the part where the highway area is, I mean, there are more grooves, but it's a little bit thinner and a little bit softer. So outdoor use, you should be good to go. And also just like in all the other 8083s as well, heel to toe transition is a little bit clunky because it is pretty much all plastic, and I also like you have a little bit of carbon fiber. So You know, there's no compression from the actual outside of the shoe, which is something that I really love about the Kobe 8s, right? The Kobe 8 and also the Kobe 8 Pro Trail, we have a stiffer Phylon. It's like still a stiff foam, but it allows for a little bit of compression. It still makes it a little bit softer here in the heel, especially for heel dominant strides down the court. And also, for example, like in the Series Player Only Ranger 1, right? Those also have a very soft EVA with a drop in midsole, which makes it extremely soft here in the heel. But of course, in the 808 3s, it's just plastic, so it's a little clunky, just like in the Kobe 9 and the Kobe 11s, right? But it does have a nice curved shape, so it's not even that bad. And then here in the forefoot, we got a nice rocker shape and a good amount of forefoot flex, and it's really, really flexible, right? So it's just a really smooth feeling shoe once you kind of get over the clunkier heel. And now moving on to the cushioning setup, yeah, it's pretty much the exact same. We have a drop-in midsole, and also it is full-length boom, which is super duper nice. They use the same exact cushioning setup in the 808 Ultra and also the 808 Ultra V2. So yeah, it has really good step and comfort because boom is extremely soft and it has a good amount of bounce, right? Especially here in the heel. So that's really nice, right? But the thing I don't like, it's not that I don't like it, it's just like it's not great for impact protection, right? So if you're doing harder impacts, even like heel strikes or also landing on your forefoot, it does hurt my feet a little bit because like I said, boom is really soft, right? So it does bottom out, right? It squishes and then it kind of bottoms out and I can feel my foot hit kind of like the floor a little bit, you know what I mean? So again, it's not terrible or anything, but if you're looking for amazing impact protection or good impact protection, this doesn't have good impact protection on hard impacts, right? But if you're kind of just like shooting around and not jumping that high and doing super hard impacts, you should be good to go. Again, amazing step and comfort, like pretty good bounce here in the heel and stuff like that. Really good court feel. So the cushioning setup is absolutely amazing. And also another thing that I really like about the drop in midsole is the texture that's on it, right? So like with this like boost type of material, a lot of times companies glue like a material over it so you don't slide around on it that much. But what they did with this texture with the 808 Ultra, Ultra V2, and the Ultra V2 Low, or this one, is that there's a really nice fine texture to it where it really grabs your sock, and the lockdown is absolutely amazing, which we'll get into, right? But of course, the biggest difference is the upper. So what is the difference in the upper? So it's actually really, really nice for quality, I would say. It reminds me a little bit of like a Flyknit, but not. You know what I mean? It's like kind of like a Flyknit, but more also like a mesh material, you know? So it's double layered. As you guys can see, we have a very open kind of textile material, and underneath that, it also looks to have another material underneath it, right? So it's double layered here in the toe box, which of course is really good for durability and support, but also ventilation is crazy good. Like there's so much airflow through the top of the toe box here, also on the sides, on the lateral side, also here on the medial side. And also we have this, right? So on the other 808 3s, we have just like a clear plastic window, which isn't good for ventilation, of course, but this is just all airy, you know what I mean? But it's also see-through. And then here on top, right? This is kind of like where the tongue's supposed to be. This is more like a one booty upper slash, it has kind of like a tongue flap, so it's not really one booty. It's kind of weird, you know? But it's also not like a half booty construction tongue because it's not really a tongue either. But anyways, through this material, there's a lot of airflow too. So you have really good ventilation. It's thin, it's supportive, you know? And also we do have a nice layer of fuse around the toe box for extra durability and support there too. And also we have the same exact kind of like flywire cables here, like on the third eyelid, I would say. Right, just like in the regular V2, but also the lacing style is more like the Yeezy style. It just kind of goes through the upper. There's no like eyelets or like cables, you know, that the actual laces go through. It just goes through the actual upper, you know? And then for the tongue, we have a pretty minimal padding. It's that same type of like textile material, but it seems a little bit more like TPU. It seems like TPU strands, right? And there is one kind of foam pad on top of the tongue, but it's not super well padded. And also here in the ankle area, it's not super well padded either, but it does have this like ankle collar with this like Flyknit material or like the textile, right? It's not super stretchy, however, you know? So that's one thing that I don't like about it as much as the regular V2. The regular V2 has a good amount of stretch to it, so it kind of like stretches over your foot. This has still a little bit of stretch, but it's not super stretchy, you know? But overall, the quality I would say is a lot better than the regular 808 Ultra. It also looks really good in my personal opinion. And I also do really like how well ventilated it is. So there is the upper there. Moving on to the fit. Same exact fit as the regular 808 Ultra and the V2. So I did go up half a size, and there is a little bit of length, you know, obviously because I did go up half a size, but it's still pretty dang snug here in the toe box. Not super snug, but it's a nice snug fit. And like I said, because of the great lockdown of the drop-in midsole, which is another plus or pro of a drop-in midsole, is usually the texture is super grippy. I don't really mind the extra length. Usually I wouldn't like it as much, but because of how good the lockdown is, like my foot just stays locked down, and then once I tighten the laces, my foot's not really going anywhere. I don't mind the extra length, right? If you want a really nice snug fit, especially lengthwise, then go true to size, but I did go up half a size, right? So there is that, you know, if you know what your fit is in the 808-3 Ultra and also the V2, then go the exact same size with the V2 low. And of course, support and lockdown, I mean, yeah. So also another benefit of a drop-in midsole is the raised side walls, right? So if you look in the forefoot, it's not as high, but still there's a little bit of a sidewall in the forefoot. But also on the outside of the shoe, you can see this crazy plastic material, right? So that'll be good for lateral containment here in the forefoot. We also do have the Flywire cables. Yeah, Flywire is Nike, but I feel like everyone just calls it Flywire, right? And then also here in the heel, we have this plastic coming up acting as a sidewall, and we have these carbon fiber kind of like plates, you know, but there does seem to be like an epoxy over it, comparing it to the other 808-3s, where like a softer type of plastic or something, you know. But that's there, and also we have the carbon fiber here on the bottom as well. But anyways, lateral containment, you're gonna be good to go. And also here in the heel, for the raised sidewall from the drop-in midsole is very, very high. So lateral containment is good, and lateral stability is very, very good here as well. So I mean, it's a very wide base. You can see the crazy outrigger right here. Also, another thing that I like about this colorway, and that's something that I noticed that's a little bit different, is you can see like hexagon panels inside of this like clear TPU heel counter, right? So that's pretty cool as well. And now moving on to the weight, I mean, if I remember correctly, the 808-3s aren't that light. I think it's like 13 point something. Okay, so 12.9 ounces. Let's check the other shoe. Oh, 12.9 ounces. So I think it's a little bit lighter than the Ultras, if I remember correctly. I actually have it right over here. So let's check the weight difference. I think these are a little bit heavier. Yeah, 13.5 ounces. So they actually shed a little bit of weight, which is pretty good, you know? It seems like a little bit better ventilation, and also it's a little bit lighter. So that's definitely an upgrade, right? And now moving on to the aesthetics, I love it. It looks absolutely amazing. Like I said, I love the gradient. I love this kind of like cream or off-white color on the upper. The heel counter, the carbon fiber looks amazing. I definitely think it's an upgrade from the regular 808-3 Ultra, right? So tell us what you guys think of the aesthetics down in the comment section below. Now wrapping things up, yeah, I mean, I'm probably not going to be doing a full performance review because it's really not that much different than the regular 808-3 Ultra and also the Ultra V2, right? It's just the upper, and like I said, it is a little bit lighter. Also does feel a little bit better for ventilation. So that definitely is an upgrade. So yeah, there it is. If you want a Kobe-like shoe, this is one of the best shoes that you can get right now. Also, another shoe that you can get if you want a Kobe-like shoe is the Player One Plus, but we're talking about this shoe. So that about wraps it up for my detailed look and review of the 808-3 Ultra V2 Low. Again, if you guys do want to cop a, try to leave in the free link in the description box, but that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.